People don't gain weight over the holidays because of just one big meal. They gain weight because normal rules disappear and eating quietly turns into an all-day event. When routines break down and special foods are suddenly everywhere, it's very easy to eat more without even realizing it. Studies show that most people only gain a small amount of weight over the holidays, often 1 to 2 pounds, sometimes more. But most people never lose it and they just stack it on year after year. In this video, I'm going to show you simple, realistic strategies that let you enjoy the holidays and come out the other side without gaining weight. And for some people, even losing a pound or two, with no tracking, dieting, and not missing out on your favorite treats. Before we get into the strategies, it's important to understand what's actually going on. Nothing magical happens to food during the holidays. Your metabolism doesn't shut down because it's Christmas or because you're on vacation or a cruise. The real problem is structure disappears. Meals turn into grazing, snacks are always visible, leftovers are constantly available, and eating stops being something you do at set times and becomes something that you do all day. Once you see that, the solution becomes much simpler. Rule number one is to eat meals and not all day. Most holiday weight gain doesn't come from the one meal or two meals. It's everything you're doing in between. And one of the easiest ways is to do what I call the one plate rule. When you eat, make one proper plate of food. Sit down, eat it, and when the plate is empty, you're done until the next meal. So no snacking in between. This is not about restriction, it's about giving you some clear boundaries and when to stop. And when food doesn't have boundaries, the calories can add up fast, even if it doesn't feel excessive. But even this rule can fail if your environment is working against you, which brings us to the next rule, number two. Control your environment, not yourself. Humans don't eat based on hunger, we eat based on convenience. If food is within arm's reach, you'll eat it whether you're hungry or not. So here's the rule. When you grab food or drink, move a few feet away from where it's stored. Don't stand next to the kitchen counter constantly snacking. Don't hover near the snack bowl. Don't eat straight out of the container. And don't have extra treats in the cupboard for that gathering you're having next week. If you're like me, you're likely to eat them well before that gathering occurs. So buy things when you need them. That small bit of distance creates friction, and the friction reduces that mindless eating without requiring any willpower. Now, the next rule solves a problem most people don't even realize they have until it's too late. Rule number three is never arrive hungry at a meal. If you arrive at a meal or an event and you're starving, hunger shuts down good decision making. That's why eating protein before you eat is one of the most powerful tools you can do for weight loss. This works whether you're going to a gathering or just eating at home. A protein shake before a meal or a party dulls the hunger signals and makes it less likely you'll overeat other options later. Other options to eat are like Greek yogurt, eggs, leftover meat. Protein blunts appetite, improves satiety, and makes everything that comes next easier to manage. You don't need more willpower, you just need a few more hunger-driven signals. But there's one thing that sabotages all of this faster than food, and that is alcohol and liquid drinks. Before we talk about alcohol, there's one category where people almost always overlook, and that's drinking liquid calories. Drinks like soda, juice, sweetened coffees, they don't register in the brain the same way solid food does. They don't create much fullness, they're easy to consume quickly, and they don't trigger the same satiety signals like food, which makes it very easy to overconsume calories without noticing. This is why people can drink hundreds of calories and still feel hungry afterwards. During the holidays, this often comes from juice with breakfast, sodas throughout the day, sweetened drinks like coffee. So you don't need to eliminate these completely, but just be aware that they're adding up to your calories during the day and keep them for special times. That awareness alone can often reduce intake without effort. So rule number four is be strategic with alcohol. Alcohol doesn't ruin your progress. Unplanned drinking usually does. Alcohol adds up more calories, lowers restraints, and increases your likelihood of snacking, especially when you drink on an empty stomach. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy a drink. It means choose drinks that give you the experience without unnecessary extra calories. Here's a simple way to think about it. Swap out better choices instead of just restricting what you drink. So instead of something like eggnog, which can have over 300 calories, try a vodka and soda with lime or cranberry juice. Instead of high calorie beers, go for a low carb option. Instead of something like mulled wine, go for a dry red. They're going to be much less calories. You still get the ritual and enjoyment. You're just avoiding the extra calories that you don't even notice you're consuming. A few other simple rules: decide your limit before you start. Have one alcoholic drink and then one water. Avoid drinking on an empty stomach. And also avoid drinking later in the evening. This can disrupt sleep, which also affects your metabolism and weight. Rule number 5, go for a walk after a big meal. After large meals, most people sit down and don't move, and that's the worst time to be completely sedentary. A simple 10 to 15 minute walk after eating can significantly improve blood sugar control and digestion. This isn't about burning calories, it's about what your body does with the food you just ate. Just go for a casual walk for your family, and it also removes you from the table so you're not sitting there constantly snacking on leftovers. Now let's talk about the hardest part for most people: dessert. The first bite's often the best bite, and the first few bites of a dessert give you the most enjoyment. After that, you're just eating for the sake of eating sometimes. That's why smaller portions, sharing a dessert, or stopping after a few bites works well. You're not missing out, you're just avoiding the point where you're just eating out of habit. And if you had enough protein and healthy foods earlier, you're only eating to enjoy it, not because you're still hungry. This brings us to one of the most important mindset shifts of all. During the holidays, maintenance is a win. You don't need to lose weight over the holidays. Maintaining your weight is a win. If you come out at the end of your holiday the same weight you went in, you've already succeeded. That means no panic after a holiday, no January panic or crash dieting, no trying to undo the damage. And for most people, once grazing stops and structure comes back in, weight loss happens naturally anyway without forcing it. That's why you can still lose weight over the holidays by having structure in place. The problem is most people trying to overcompensate by doing a strict diet after a holiday. And that way you got the up and down yo-yo dieting, which is not great for long-term weight loss. Let me know in the comments if you've struggled with holiday weight gain, or if you have some great strategies to share that help you keep the weight off.